Play Radio UK. Just great music.
Playing the greatest hits of the 80s, 70s and today to planet Earth. Live from the south coast of England. This is Play Radio UK. Warning, the show you're about to listen to may contain strong language and the content might offend. Tommy and Duncan letting it all hang out on Play Radio UK.
Yes. So if you don't like it, you're not on.
No. Okay, that's all right.
Right.
Okay. Do that.
Try that one. Hello.
That'll be it.
Well played, you.
Luck.
What? I'm hopeless. If my car breaks down, I clean out the ashtrays, and if it's still not working, I call the AA. That's about all I can do.
You bit overheat, you turn the aircon on, right?
Nah. Yeah, I've heard. Does that work?
Apparently you turn it on hot. Yeah.
I've heard that, and I've tried that.
Never
I
worked
can't
for me.
report that it made a great deal of difference, but I have heard that if you turn on your heater...
Does it actually work?
Well, allegedly.
Is this a myth?
No, it might be a myth, I don't know. Didn't work for me.
It's Sunday. What's the date? No one ever knows the
19th.
date. That's the only use I have now of tabloid newspapers, is that they have the date on the front. Anyway, it's that date, and it's Tommy, Duncan, and Stuart, and the studio's filling up. We're getting zooey. We've got some, it's Jamie and Laura, hello. Baran and Lee's around as well. This evening, we're kind of, today, because there's people listening where it's not evening. You have to get used to that, don't you? Good day. It's 4 minutes past the hour, I can say that. We, last week, was it last week we interviewed Ripley Martin?
Riley
Martin?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I'm thinking Alien, aren't I? See that, how that works, the brain.
It's amazing.
Let's just have a Signori weave in a moment, shall we, guys? Ready, and go. Okay. Right, where was we? Riley Martin. Yeah. Why did she have to take everything off but her knickers? I mean, I'm glad she did, but it was just so
it was
gratuitous.
by number 3, she needed to do something else, and she ticked all the boxes by shaving the hair.
Yeah. Did she?
Yeah.
I didn't. Oh, right.
It worked for me.
Look that hard. Anyway, so it was last week we interviewed Riley Martin.
Yeah.
And that was a bit of a hoo-ha, and I think that was interesting. This week, today, we are going to be wondering who started it, because it was an argument. Duncan, you had an argument with an expert, and I've trawled the various forums and chat rooms that you get on the internet, which is great, and a lot of them are arguing not about whether or not he was abducted by aliens, which was the point of his existence. It was about whether you started the argument with him, or whether he did, which is what I believe. I'm on your side, as it were.
I'm with you.
Because I don't think you were going to be robust with him because you felt that he was talking tosh.
Yeah. Let me put this into perspective, and it's very simple. I think what happens in the media time after time after time, not just in this country but around the world, is these people who will say that I've been abducted or I have this experience. People fawn all over them.
Yeah.
They fawn all over them and they say, oh, what was it like? What happened? And no one actually, for whatever reason, asks the questions that when you're down the pub, you go, do you know what, that Uri Geller is full of shit, isn't he?
He is.
You know, and I just wanted to use it as an opportunity to test this man who makes several $1 million a year.
Do you think so?
I believe so.
Okay.
Out of his story.
Well, you tested him all right, so we'll talk about that, how an argument starts.
Yeah.
Because some guy who wrote Ron Paul of the Bailey, John Mortimer, he said, when a marriage breaks up, he said, you can't be sure of the exact moment when it's gone. He said, and it's rather like the crack in the kitchen ceiling. You can't be sure, like, exactly when it started, whether it's going to lead to the kitchen ceiling falling in, but you sure do know when the kitchen ceiling falls in. And it's the same with an argument, isn't it? You know, you can tell when two people are sort of prowling around each other a little bit. And I think he was hoping that you were going to come on to him, because I've listened to some of the stuff that he does in America with Howard Stern, and he gets a lot of hits on his website, because Howard Stern abuses him, which is not what you did, and then he abuses Howard Stern back, and he gives as good as he gets, and it's fun to listen to two people having a...
I agree, and I don't think anyone should forget this very simple thing, that Riley Martin is a brand. Riley Martin is a product in my view, and he is fair game, and I have absolutely no issues whatsoever with how I conducted that conversation. My only regret is it didn't go on for longer.
What's going on in the chat rooms and what have you at the moment, Stuart?
A couple of emails coming. One, Mark wants to know, can you tell everybody why the podcast was edited last week? Because he told everybody at work that you'd said the C word and it wasn't on the podcast.
Yeah, I did say that word. I don't like saying that word. I said it in the way that men say it. If a man wants to cement a relationship with a man in a community of friends, which is what we are, this is not a radio station, we are a community of friends, he calls him a wanker. Yahoo wanker. It is a considerable badge of friendship, I think. But to call somebody a silly cunt in the right sort of way is the highest badge of friendship that a man can offer. And the chap I called that was a chap who was messing about and phoning in and being very funny and not quite able to get it right. And I said to him, you silly... And that was how I said it. Now, if I were to call somebody the C word, that is an outside, in the car park, you and me, now mate. And I have never in my life done that. And I don't think I ever would. So yeah, that happened. Why did we tidy it up? We tidied it up because... when we're live, that's one thing, but when you publish stuff, and again, the status of the internet is still a little bit uncertain, isn't it?
Vague,
which
grey,
we like.
Grey.
So we believe that we are publishing the podcasts, and therefore we just tidy them up a little bit. And also, it's quite tantalising. Hey, listen, look, guys, everybody, for God's sake, if I wanted to have a conversation about the C word with my, with my maiden aunt. She knows it, she's heard it, and so I would say, oh, there's a lot of fuss about the C word. So that's acceptable, isn't it?
Yeah.
But everybody's heard the word in their head, so you've kind of said it. So why is it acceptable? Totally acceptable, utterly acceptable to say the C word, the F word, but not to say those words. That's a hypocrisy, a massive hypocrisy.
Why do we skirt around it? Why do we skirt around it?
Legalise it. And all you're doing is disarming people who use those words as a weapon.
Yeah.
Legalise them. Legalise them. Make them a Class C word, along with bloody, flipping, and then, after all, these are words that were invented by our great-great-grandparents.
True.
The people who, if they were still alive today, would be condemning the younger generation for being vulgar, obscene, aggressive. The hoodies out there, they haven't invented an illegal word yet, have they? They might be wandering around with knives, that's another issue. But they haven't come up with a swear word of their own yet. And another thing we're going to talk about this evening, because we always talk about something which is taboo, and we're going to talk about politically incorrect jokes. Because I have a theory about that as well, but we'll get onto that in just a second. Also, they're protesting at Heathrow, aren't they?
I've seen this.
What's going on now?
Well, haven't they started their 24 hours of direct action?
Yeah.
Because they've been camping there for a week. You're a trained journalist, a week? A week. Yeah. And now they've got their 24 hours of direct action, and the fear is, well, actually, I hope they're going to storm a runway, but we'll see what happens.
Well said.
Yeah.
It's like in a football match. You're watching a football match. I was watching a football match the other day, and all the players suddenly went for each other. And the commentators are having to do that BBC thing of going, absolutely disgraceful scenes. But we're all going, get in!
Yes.
Come on, have him!
It's like when they
Go for it!
When they have a streaker in football now, they used to show the streaker, right? Yeah. Nowadays, they cut to the bench.
Oh.
Yeah. Who wants to see what's on the subs bench when there's a chick running around with no clothes on the pitch?
A chick?
Well,